Here we are on our first evening of our hike from Shai Beach to Rialto Beach. We're getting close to finishing the trail part, heading down towards the beach, and this is the first viewpoint of the trail here. It's a pretty steep drop there, at least 75 feet or so, so we got still a little bit further to go. Alright, we are now down on the shore.
Shai Beach.
It's 9 o'clock exactly.
9 o'clock, and we're going to pitch our tents right off the bat here. It's going to get dark too quickly.
August 1st, expedition begin.
As you can see, it's low tide right now. Nice, very nice sandy beach out here.
Woo!
And we're ready for a good hike tomorrow. Alright, we just woke up about 15 minutes ago, and this is the first morning on the epic journey. And as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit lighter out here.
Hi, Mom.
Ryan's just enjoying some trail mix there.
We did it. Night one.
Good morning.
And we're in for a long day today, at least 13 or maybe 14 miles today potentially. Because we had
almost got our tents last night. Ryan woke up at 1, I woke up at 3, kind of paced around for a half hour watching the tide.
Yeah, the tide was up
Pretty powerful.
pretty much to that big log in the back there.
And also up beyond that one to the left.
Over to that log over there. Was past it, and Ryan was freaking out apparently.
Well, you can see the high tide line. Not exactly that far.
But it's starting to go back now, and we're going to have to get started here soon so we can beat the tide. So we'll keep you posted on how it goes. Alright, we are now past the hard part of the hike, and as you can see, we're having to cross over a bunch of rocks full of kelp and seaweed, but there is all sorts of biodiversity here. All kinds of different creatures and things attached to all these rocks. So we're about 3 miles into the beach approximately here. And as you can see, this is definitely much harder than the sand, the nice sand we had earlier, but it's very, very scenic here. Alright, we just used our first overland trail. We started back down there on those kelp rocks, climbed the rope ladders all the way up to the top here, and we're all just taking a break right now, but it's a nice little viewpoint up here.
Hi.
Michael's heading back down to the beach.
Mom, I'm okay. Don't worry. It's not as bad as it looks.
It's much worse.
This is a cakewalk.
Alright, we just crossed one of the rivers without our bridges here. We've had a pretty hard day so far. It's been about 8 miles to this point. And here's the river over here. It wasn't too deep. It was maybe about 5 inches or so. There's Ryan still over there on the other side. So we were trying to go fast to try to get to this point. So it's been kind of a fast-paced day so far, because we were worried about the tide coming in too far, and that will drastically raise the level of the river, but it ended up not being that big of a deal. So we just got through that, and now we're going to take a break here and probably have some lunch. Okay, here we are. We're about maybe 11 miles now into our hike. We're back on overhead trail, and it's kind of a nice viewpoint up here. Michael's just taking a rest for a little bit. We took a little bit of a detour, but we're going to get right back on our main trail in a few minutes here. So Sandpoint's maybe a mile and a half to 2 miles away now, and that's where we're going to be camping for night number 2. Well, we're as tired as hell, but we finally made it. We got 13.5 miles in today approximately, and we finally found a camping site here. It's a very, very nice beach here at Sandpoint. Michael is just collapsed in exhaustion over there. We're just kind of getting our packs off for the evening finally.
Show the beach.
Woo!
There's Ryan.
It is an amazing beach.
It's a great beach, very extensive. Very nice sand here. And we've been hiking for about 13 hours, and we're so happy we can finally take a break. So that's the end of day 2. 2 more days to go. 17 miles to go. And Rialto. Okay, and here we are, packing up our campsite at Sandpoint. We're getting ready to hit the trails pretty soon here. And we're going to be going about 8.5 to 9 miles a day or so. So we're just kind of getting ready. We all had a really good rest last night. I got almost 11 hours of sleep. Michael got about 8 hours or so. 8 to 9 hours. Ryan got about 9 or 10. So yeah, we're all pumped up and ready to go. Alright, we're about 2.5 miles into our hike on the 3rd day. And we're just kind of going around one of the points here. There's a nice little cave right up ahead. It should be pretty interesting to go through. It's a nice beach on the other side of this. Alright, at this point there was a bunch of dots on our map, and as you can see it's a bunch of small to medium-sized rocks everywhere. So we have about 3 miles of this at this point. We're maybe a little over 2.5 miles into the day. But this edge part here is not too bad. But it's very, very calm over here. And it's a nice little area. Well, we just finished up having lunch here about 15 minutes ago, and we're approaching high tide here. And as you can see, the tide's really coming up high up here, so we're just having to do the driftwood route. And we're all getting a little bit wet here, but it's gonna start. The tide's gonna start heading back in about a half hour here, so we're not in any danger. But we're definitely having an adventure here. Just a little more footage of the high tide section here. We're almost at high tide, and we have just like maybe about 15 feet to work through here. And there's Ryan coming up through the driftwood. And that's kind of what we have to work with. We have about 1 more mile of this until we get to a beach. Well, we finally made it past the driftwood area at the high tide. It was pretty intense at certain points, but now we're at a really nice sandy beach here. Just enjoying a nice stroll. We took a break. Now we're just having a real nice stroll here. It's real nice and wonderful waves and really nice terrain. Alright, here we are doing the first overhead trail on day 3. So Mike's just climbing up the rope there, and we're just going to kind of head up and over this little head or point on this trail here.